You probably spent years believing attraction is about behavior, timing, or even destiny. Yet something inside you keeps whispering that there's a deeper mechanism behind every connection in your life, a pull you can't rationalize, a shift in your body before your mind catches up, almost like your energy recognizes someone long before your eyes do. Because if attraction were only about appearance, you wouldn't feel this sudden magnetic tension with someone you barely know. And you wouldn't lose the interest of people who once seemed captivated by you. The truth is harder, almost unsettling. Your nervous system is constantly broadcasting emotional data, and others read it instantly, whether you want them to or not. There is a kind of emotional gravity around each person, an invisible force shaped by memory, wounds, confidence, and unspoken beliefs. Some people step into your field and everything inside you expands. Others enter and your chest tightens in ways you can't logically explain. Attraction happens in these invisible micro shifts long before a word is spoken. Every unresolved fear sends a signal. Every moment of self-worth emits another. The body becomes a transmitter of everything the mind tries to hide. And that's why certain relationships feel chaotic from the start. Two nervous systems trying to negotiate unhealed frequencies instead of genuine connection. It's chemistry, but not the kind you learned in school. And here lies the uncomfortable paradox. You can say all the right things, behave in all the correct ways, appear confident, available, intentional. Yet if your internal field is out of alignment, the other person feels the mismatch. Attraction collapses, interest dissolves, not because you failed, but because your energy told a different story than your words. When you understand this, something dramatic shifts inside you. You stop blaming your appearance, your personality, your past. You start noticing the subtle emotional currents that rise inside you when you like someone, the anxieties, the projections, the suppressed longing, and how they alter your frequency without you noticing. Awareness becomes power. And once you learn how this hidden physics truly works, you begin to see love through a completely different lens. You stop chasing validation. You stop shrinking yourself. You stop negotiating your worth. Your presence becomes coherent, calm, grounded, magnetic, and people feel that shift instantly. So the real question is, are you ready to see what your energy has been creating all along? Attraction doesn't begin with desire. It begins with perception. The nervous system scans another person's presence faster than the conscious mind can form a single thought. Before you even speak, your body is already asking, is this safe? Is this familiar? Does this feel like expansion or contraction? And these micro responses decide more about your relationships than you realize. When someone matches your unhealed patterns, your body often recognizes them as home, even if they bring chaos. This is why you feel pulled toward people who mirror old wounds. It's not destiny, it's conditioning. Your emotional history becomes a magnetic field, drawing in anyone who resonates with its frequency, whether that frequency is pain or peace. But here's where things become transformative. Your energy doesn't just attract people, it filters them. Those aligned with your current emotional state feel drawn to you, while those operating at a different internal rhythm instinctively distance themselves. This isn't rejection, it's resonance. Attraction is the physics of emotional compatibility in motion. Your brain plays a bigger role than you realize. Every thought you hold about love, fear, longing, scarcity, worthiness shapes neural pathways that influence the signals you emit. According to neuroscientist Antonio Damasio, we are not thinking machines. We are feeling machines that think. Your emotions lead, and your logic follows their trail. When your inner world is unsettled, Your energy speaks in fragmented sentences. Anxiety here, desire there, doubt in the middle. Others sense this. They may not understand why, but they feel the lack of coherence. And coherence is what creates safety, magnetism, and trust. Attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about being emotionally synchronized within yourself. As you begin to regulate your internal world, grounding your breath, naming your emotions, understanding your triggers, your energy stabilizes. The field around you becomes clear instead of chaotic. People feel this clarity. They relax in your presence. They open. They lean in. Not because you're forcing anything, but because your nervous system has become a place of energetic rest. This is the first law of the hidden physics of attraction. People respond to the field you carry, not the words you say. And when you become aware of this, you stop performing for love and start embodying it. You stop chasing external signals and start mastering the internal ones. The shift begins inside, and its impact radiates farther than you could ever imagine. Your energy is not just felt, it is interpreted. The subconscious mind of the other person reads your emotional frequency faster than your voice carries your words. This is why someone can feel drawn to you without explanation or suddenly pull away without warning. Attraction moves in the subtle spaces, long before logic gets involved. Many people try to act confident while carrying internal echoes of fear. They say the right things, but their energy reveals the truth. Hesitation, doubt, longing for validation. The body leaks what the mind tries to hide. And others instinctively respond to the real signal, not the performed one. This is why authenticity isn't optional. It's magnetic. Every unresolved emotion becomes a frequency that interacts with the world around you. Shame shrinks your field. Anxiety scatters it. Desire stretches it too far. Peace stabilizes it. And self-worth expands it. Attraction, then, is a dance of fields. Two emotional landscapes trying to find harmony or repelling one another through mismatch. Your past relationships are not memories. They are imprints. They shape the way your nervous system anticipates connection. If you were taught that love comes with unpredictability, then calmness may feel unfamiliar. If love meant inconsistency, then stability might feel suspicious. Attraction often mirrors what you're used to, not what you deserve. At this deeper level, the universe doesn't reward longing, it rewards alignment. When you embody clarity, you naturally attract people who value clarity. When you embody openness, you naturally repel those who fear it. The law isn't mystical. It's emotional physics. You emit what you integrate, not what you wish for. And when someone enters your life who resonates with your ideal emotional frequency, everything inside you feels different. You don't question your worth. You don't chase. You don't shrink. Their presence feels like a soft exhale, not because they complete you, but because your energy recognizes coherence. This is attraction beyond desire. It is attraction through truth. As you begin to master this inner field, not by forcing, but by understanding yourself, your relationships transform. People who drained you fall away. People who align with your higher vibration step forward. And attraction becomes less about chance and more about the emotional reality you're shaping every day, consciously or unconsciously. Attraction is not something you do. It's something that emerges from your state of being. When your inner world is scattered, your energy leaks in every direction, trying to impress, to prove, to secure attention. But when your inner world becomes anchored, your presence shifts. People feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. Stability speaks louder than charm. Most people chase connections, hoping to feel chosen, yet their energy broadcasts the fear of being abandoned. That fear becomes the emotional sense others pick up instantly. It creates tension, pressure, a subtle sense of urgency. Attraction collapses under urgency. What is magnetic is not desire, but spaciousness. The feeling that you are whole before anyone enters your life. Your nervous system plays a powerful role in this. When it's dysregulated, you interpret neutral moments as rejection and silence as danger. This creates an emotional static that disrupts authentic connection. When your system is calm, you perceive reality accurately. You respond instead of react. You create emotional signals that feel inviting rather than unstable. There's a quiet truth you discover as you evolve. People aren't attracted to perfection. They're attracted to coherence. Coherence is when your emotions, thoughts, and actions tell the same story. It creates a field that feels trustworthy. And trust is the foundation of attraction that lasts beyond the initial spark. The universe works through matching emotional frequencies more than matching appearances or life circumstances. When you operate from survival energy, you attract relationships that trigger survival. When you embody emotional safety, you attract people who can meet you there. Alignment becomes the silent architect of your connections. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to get someone to like you, you become more magnetic. Not because you're detached, but because your energy shifts from seeking external confirmation to radiating internal certainty. Certainty softens the field around you. It invites others to approach without fear of being pulled into your anxiety. As you master this subtle inner physics, you begin to realize that attraction was never random. It was always a mirror. And the more you refine your internal landscape, the more the external world reorganizes around that vibration. Love stops feeling like something you chase and begins to feel like something you naturally allow. Attraction becomes clearer when you realize that every person you meet is responding not to your appearance, but to your internal climate. Some people carry the emotional weather of a storm, unpredictable, tense, electric. Others carry the soft warmth of sunrise, calm, steady, grounding. Your inner climate determines who feels safe approaching and who instinctively steps back. Your body remembers more than your mind does. Old heartbreaks become emotional signatures that subtly influence how you stand, breathe, speak, and even make eye contact. When those memories stay unprocessed, your energy sends mixed signals. Come close, but don't hurt me. See me, but don't get too near. That contradiction creates confusion, not attraction. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for resonance. When someone's emotional frequency feels familiar, your system opens without effort. When it feels chaotic, your system tightens. This response isn't rational, it's protective. Many people confuse this tightening with lack of chemistry, when in truth, it's simply their body sensing an incoherent field. Attraction thrives in the presence of emotional transparency. When your energy is honest, not perfect, not polished, just real, others feel permission to be real too. This creates a subtle but powerful safety. And safety is one of the most underrated yet profoundly magnetic forces in human connection. People gravitate toward the places where their nervous system can breathe. Think of two people as tuning forks. When one vibrates at a steady, grounded frequency, the other naturally synchronizes with it. But when someone vibrates in chaos, they destabilize the field around them. It's not personal, it's physics. And when you begin to stabilize your own frequency, you stop attracting turbulence and start attracting coherence. This is why inner work is not a spiritual luxury, it's an energetic necessity. The more you resolve your internal contradictions, the more your field becomes unified. Unified fields attract unified people. Scattered fields attract scattered experiences. Your energy becomes the invitation, and people respond according to what it communicates beneath the surface. When you finally embody this awareness, attraction becomes less about trying to impress and more about tending to the quality of your own presence. Because the person who is meant for you won't be pulled by your performance, they'll be pulled by your truth. And the more aligned that truth becomes, the more naturally the right people find you. Attraction begins to shift dramatically when you realize that people respond not to your intentions, but to the emotional truth beneath them. You might intend to appear calm, but if your body is holding fear, that fear becomes the frequency others detect first. Energy doesn't lie. And the more you try to control how you're perceived, the more distorted your signal becomes. Most people don't know they are broadcasting two different messages. The one their mind wants to send, and the one their body is actually sending. The mind says, I'm confident. The body whispers, I hope I'm enough. The mind says, I'm not attached. The body signals, please don't leave. Attraction responds to the whisper, not the performance. Your emotional field behaves like a mirror. When you carry unresolved insecurities, you attract people who activate them. When you carry grounded self-worth, you attract people who honor it. It's not punishment or reward, it's resonance. People enter your life because part of you is vibrating at the same frequency they're living in. Neuroscience explains this well. The brain is wired to seek the familiar. If emotional chaos is familiar, you'll feel magnetized by people who mirror that chaos. If stability becomes familiar, your system will crave it. This is why inner healing changes the people you're drawn to and the people drawn to you. Your preferences evolve as your nervous system evolves. Energetically, your presence becomes a landscape others walk into. If the landscape is filled with tension, they tread carefully. If the landscape is spacious, inviting, steady, they relax into it. People are not reacting to you. They're reacting to how they feel within themselves when they stand in your field. That is the hidden architecture of attraction. When you start observing your internal shifts, the tightening of your chest, the contraction in your gut, the expansion in your breath, you begin to understand the signals you've been sending unconsciously. Awareness doesn't magically fix anything, but it changes everything. It gives you the power to stop repeating emotional patterns you didn't choose consciously. And as your emotional field becomes coherent, something remarkable happens. You stop attracting relationships defined by survival and start attracting relationships aligned with your expansion. People feel drawn to your presence without knowing why. Not because you said something impressive, but because your energy finally speaks in one clear, unified voice. Attraction often becomes confusing because people assume it is an external event, when in reality it is an internal reflection. You don't attract what you want. You attract what your nervous system is calibrated to expect. This calibration happens silently, shaped by memories, disappointments, and the emotional patterns you've never questioned. Many individuals try to force attraction through strategy, withholding messages, acting indifferent, rehearsing behaviors, but the nervous system can't be tricked. If your energy is anxious, it will communicate anxiety no matter how still your face remains. If your energy is grounded, it will communicate confidence even in silence. Presence speaks louder than performance. Attraction is also deeply tied to emotional availability. If part of you fears intimacy, your energy creates a subtle barrier, like a glass wall others can feel but not see. They may be intrigued, but something in them hesitates. On the other hand, when your heart is open without desperation, you emit a warmth that feels unmistakably safe. This safety is magnetic. Think of your emotional field as a lighthouse. When the light inside you is inconsistent, flickering with doubt, fear, or neediness, the signal becomes unclear. The wrong people approach out of confusion, while the right ones can't find you. But when your light becomes steady, it guides those who are aligned with your emotional truth straight toward you. Your nervous system is constantly syncing with the people around you. This is why calm individuals make you breathe deeper, and anxious individuals make your chest tighten. When you cultivate internal calm, you become a regulator, someone whose presence naturally harmonizes others. Attraction thrives in this harmony. It dissolves resistance. And here's what many forget. Emotional alignment isn't about perfection or pretending not to care. It's about being present with what you feel without letting it control your behavior. When you move from self-awareness instead of self-protection, your energy softens. And softness is not weakness, it is invitation. It signals emotional maturity. As you master this inner alignment, you stop attracting people who trigger your wounds and start attracting people who match your evolution. Your field becomes congruent. Your presence becomes trustworthy. And attraction begins to feel less like a game and more like a natural consequence of living in resonance with yourself. There comes a moment in your journey where you realize that attraction is not something happening to you. It is something happening because of you. Your internal state sets the tone for every connection. If your heart is guarded, your energy forms invisible armor. If your heart is open, your energy becomes a soft gateway. People respond to the gateway, not the armor. Attraction also follows a law of emotional reciprocity. When you carry unresolved longing, you tend to attract people who feed that longing but never satisfy it. When you embody wholeness, you attract people who value it. This doesn't happen at the level of words. It happens at the level of resonance. Resonance doesn't lie. It simply matches. Your subconscious plays a powerful role. It contains a blueprint of what love has meant to you so far. If love was unpredictable, you feel drawn to unpredictability. If love was gentle, you feel drawn to gentleness. These emotional blueprints determine who feels familiar, and familiarity often gets mistaken for destiny, but it's not destiny. It's imprinting. Energetically, this blueprint becomes an emotional frequency others can sense. Some people sync effortlessly with it, while others feel out of rhythm. When someone aligns with your healthier blueprint, everything feels easier. Conversations flow, vulnerability feels natural, your nervous system relaxes. This ease is not accidental, it's compatibility coded in energy. One of the most magnetic shifts occurs when you stop trying to convince someone of your worth. Convincing energy repels because it signals lack. Self-assured energy attracts because it signals abundance. When you no longer seek to be chosen, your field expands. And expanded fields pull people toward them without effort. You begin to understand that the right person doesn't feel like a chase. They feel like recognition, a quiet internal yes that emerges without force. It's not the adrenaline of anxiety, it's the serenity of alignment. Your body knows the difference. Your energy knows the difference. Attraction rooted in alignment feels like gravity, not like chaos. As you embody this awareness, attraction becomes a natural byproduct of your healed frequency. You stop repeating cycles that drained you. You stop negotiating your self-worth, and you start experiencing connections that mirror your emotional evolution. What comes next is not randomness. It is the universe responding to the new shape of your energy. Attraction becomes transformative when you recognize that people are not responding to your intentions, but to the emotional fields you inhabit. Your presence is a frequency, and that frequency shapes how others feel when they are near you. Some people leave you feeling heavier, others lighter, and the same is true about the presence you offer the world. Your nervous system carries a silent language. It reveals how safe you feel within yourself. When you feel unsafe internally, you unconsciously project hypervigilance, tension, or need, even through small things like posture, voice, tone, or the way your eyes hold contact. When you feel grounded, you radiate a calm that others instinctively lean into. This is why emotionally regulated people seem effortlessly magnetic. They aren't trying to attract. Their nervous system is simply coherent, and coherence feels like home to others. Chaos might excite for a moment, but coherence nourishes. It creates a sense of internal expansion, a relief, a feeling of belonging, the true core of attraction. Your emotional patterns act like invisible rituals shaping every interaction. If you expect abandonment, you'll brace for it even when no threat exists. If you expect connection, you'll naturally create space for it. People feel this difference. One posture repels, the other invites. The universe responds to the one you embody most consistently. Energy works similarly to emotional gravity. When your field is dense with fear or doubts, it pulls in people who resonate with instability. When your field is light, open, and regulated, it draws in those who match its clarity. You begin to notice that the quality of people approaching your life improves not by chance, but by emotional elevation. As you deepen your awareness, you begin to catch the moments when your energy contracts, the slight tightening, the subtle shift, the quick defensive thought. Instead of collapsing into old habits, you observe. This observation creates emotional space, and space changes your signal. You begin to choose alignment over reaction, presence over panic. Over time, this inner mastery becomes your new baseline. Attraction moves away from the realm of unpredictability and into the realm of coherence. You start magnetizing people who reflect your healed frequency, people who feel like emotional clarity instead of emotional confusion. And you realize that the universe was never withholding love. It was waiting for your energy to match it. There comes a point in your inner evolution where attraction stops feeling like a mystery and starts feeling like a mirror. Every person drawn to your life reflects the frequency you've been living in. Not the frequency you claim, hope, or wish for, but the one your nervous system quietly broadcasts. This awareness is both liberating and confronting. When you carry unresolved emotional weight, you attract people who confirm that weight. When you carry clarity, you attract people who reinforce it. The universe mirrors your internal state with remarkable precision. This reflection is not punishment, it's guidance. Every connection becomes feedback about the energy you're emitting beneath your conscious intentions. Most people misunderstand attraction because they believe it operates on the level of desire, but desire is only the surface. The deeper current is emotional alignment. If your inner world is filled with doubt, you'll resonate with people who trigger doubt. If you cultivate emotional security, you'll resonate with people who embody it. Like frequencies always find each other. Neurobiology supports this truth. Humans co-regulate unconsciously. Your brain seeks systems that match its internal rhythm. If your rhythm is chaotic, chaos feels familiar. If your rhythm is peaceful, peace feels magnetic. This is why your type changes when you heal. Your nervous system stops craving what once felt normal and starts recognizing what feels nourishing. Energetically, this shift is like changing the tune of a song. People who once felt intoxicating suddenly lose their pull. Others who once went unnoticed become strikingly attractive. It's not that they changed, it's that your frequency changed. Your perception recalibrates to a new emotional reality, one that reflects your growth rather than your wounds. And here lies the quiet magic. When your inner frequency stabilizes, you no longer chase connection, you become connection. Your presence communicates availability without desperation, openness without expectation, warmth without fear. People feel this. They approach with sincerity because your energy finally feels like truth rather than survival. As you embody this alignment, the people drawn to you shift from activating your insecurities to supporting your expansion. Attraction becomes less about chemistry and more about coherence. Less about intensity and more about reciprocity. Less about who chooses you and more about who resonates with the version of you that is finally awake. When you begin to understand the hidden physics of attraction, love stops feeling like an unpredictable force and starts feeling like an inner alignment. What once seemed random now reveals itself as resonance. The people you attract, the ones you release, and the ones who remain all become reflections of the field you're shaping within yourself. And that field is evolving the moment you choose awareness over repetition. You start realizing that real magnetism has nothing to do with appearance or performance. It is the quiet strength in your breath, the coherence in your nervous system, the clarity in your emotional body. When your inner world becomes congruent, your external world reorganizes around that shift. You stop chasing love because you finally embody the frequency that calls it in naturally. So now the question is no longer, why don't they choose me? The real question becomes, what version of me am I choosing to embody? Are you living from your wounds or from your evolution? From fear or from alignment? From scarcity or from truth? These questions don't demand quick answers. They invite depth, presence, and a new relationship with your own energy. As you continue this journey, remember, the universe always responds to who you are, not who you pretend to be. And when you elevate your frequency, you elevate the quality of every connection in your life. If you found clarity, resonance, or expansion here, consider subscribing. This space is meant to support your highest emotional alignment.